think we should be on in a few minutes. Putting the speaker as me. Can anybody see if we started? Putting the speaker as me. We have. Can anybody see if we started? Putting the speaker as me. We have. Can anybody see if we started? Putting the speaker as me. We have. Can anybody see if we started? Putting the speaker as me. We have. Wow, I'm on a loop there. Okay. That was funny. That was so funny. There we go. Could everybody hear like 48 times my one voice?
Yes.
That was so funny. Okay, all right. So here we are, and a very warm welcome to all of you. And today's topic is all about communication and how we have these communications with other people, and somewhere we find them lacking. So I got a few different messages from people in a, almost in a week's time, and that's what kind of gave it to me that, all right, let's have a revision on this communication system. Why do I say a revision? Because I've already done this once before, and it's called words. Yeah. And people forget. So I said, all right, fine, let's go back to revising that and addressing the communication. I'm just first going to read out the message that I got. I remember that. I can't remember the message exactly, but I remember the person. So some of the questions were, when to speak, how to speak, where to speak. And if not heard, I stop expressing myself. Not the correct place and person, so I stop. I stop expressing myself. When you think that the person in front of you is so powerful, and then speaking the wrong thing can do something bad to your career or to your life or whatever. And then so it's not the correct place or the person, and then I stop speaking altogether, and I'm judging the voice. I'm judging my own voice. I think there itself, as soon as she said, I'm judging the voice, the answer was there. Then somebody else said, what about this, how to not have this communication gap? When I'm speaking to you and you're not understanding what I'm saying, and this is normally, what we call it as a generational gap. You're trying to speak to your kids and your kids completely don't understand you, or you don't understand your kids. Well, how to have an effective communication over there as well. So this was what kind of started with how to communicate effectively. As soon as you begin to look at how can I put myself across. Oh, by the way, something really cute happened, and one of you, I think it was Iti, who wrote to me and says, that topic, no, we just want to know how to start communicating like you, like me. Okay. And so I burst out laughing. I will tell you how to communicate like me, but you might not like it. So anyway, so here it is, that the minute we begin to look at our communication skills and to improve them, already the starting point is, wherever we are looking for improvement, the starting point is lack. I don't have good communication skills. My communication skills are lacking. So already we are coming from a place saying, this is not good enough. I don't like the way I communicate. So now that you're not just sitting in lack, but you also don't like parts of yourself. And from this place, with a hazard judgments within you about your own self, about what your communication is going to look like, about how they are going to perceive it, how they are going to perceive it. And then from that space, you begin the conversation. You begin the conversation from that space. Time and again, I remind you that the minute you've started to think, overthink, underthink, just to think about something about you which needs improvement, you're already coming from a place where lack is going to produce even more lack. So at the end of every conversation, you are not going to feel, I did a good job. You're always going to find yourself lacking in that job. That's how it works, right? That when you start from, I don't like this part of me, don't expect others to tell you, oh, this part of yours is so great. You haven't told this to yourself. So somebody on the outside will not be saying this to you. So already in the first 1.5 minutes of our webinar, the focus that I would put on this question, how to communicate effectively, the question itself kind of dissolves when I say, what am I feeling when I look at my own communication skills? Am I happy with my communication skills? And now you could be in buckets. You could be happy at work and not happy at home, where you have to communicate with a different set of clients. You might not be happy. Those clients are way more brutal than the work clients are. But who gave them this actor role? You gave them this actor role not to improve your communication skill with them, not to have, okay, there should be no communication gap, and they should be able to understand precisely what I'm trying to say. But why are you not getting it? The reason that they are not getting it is the frequency mismatch. The frequency mismatch. And you've heard this a hazard times because I talk about it all the time. You go to places, you go to a guru, and the guru tells you lovely, wonderful things. And you kind of like the sound of them, but you don't totally get it. Like you don't understand it, even though he's explaining to you whatever whatever he has understood or she has understood, but you don't quite get it. Why don't you get it? Why is there this communication gap? Because you are sitting in a different frequency, and that other person is sitting in a different frequency. And hence, the communication gap is not because your English is not good or my other language is poor. The communication gap is because the frequency is not matching. And I notice it so many times when I am talking to people who haven't understood the energy work. I'm talking exactly the same thing that I say always. But now I'm speaking to somebody who's sitting, let us say, in worry or fear, and not in the frequency of masti, not in the frequency of fearlessness, not in abundance. That anything that I say is going to be on deaf ears. There is going to be huge communication gap. Why? Because there is a frequency mismatch. So can you at all times have very, very clear communication? Oh, your language could be anything. But here is again the most wonderful thing. We all know that communication is not about the language, not so much. Communication, which is verbal, is only so much. And then there is this non-communicative communication, non non-verbal, not non-communicative. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, that too, huh? Non-communicative communication. Actually, all of our energy is non-communicative because we are not communicating it, but it's out there. It's reaching them and it's communicating with them. So, how are we mostly people say, oh, the mannerisms that you hold, open yourself up and stand like this and sit like that, and that improves your communication and that improves your stance. But please understand that behind all of this, what is it that you are trying to do? Why exactly are you trying to have better communication skills? Why? So here is it, that when we want to have a better communication skill, we are looking at a particular outcome from that communication itself. We are looking at, when I say this to them, then this must happen. It should happen. And that is exactly the purpose of my communication. When you put your mind into your communication, the mind is going to come from, mostly from fear, mostly from worry, and mostly from attachment to that outcome which you have decided for yourself. One time, a long time ago, these two old ladies came to me. And then they were like, we've been trying to tell our brother to stop drinking. Every time he doesn't have money, and when we send him money, he uses all the money towards alcohol. And he doesn't listen to us. And we are like, we are not sending you money for this. We are sending you money for your like for getting over this addiction. We are sending you this money so that you can buy medicine from it. We are definitely not sending you this money for alcohol. So they've been communicating with him, but every month when they have a conversation with the doctor's like, oh, I haven't seen this fellow this month either. So these people, they both had done my program. They got this brilliant idea that, okay, we are going to sit in menal frequency. In menal frequency, we are going to have a talk with that fellow's energy, because menal says that the conversation is all about energy. So my energy, I will tune into menal's, and from menal's frequency, I am going to have this conversation with that fellow, telling him in no uncertain terms that the money that we are sending is for medicine only. But now, because it is menal frequency, therefore, he is going to listen. As they were speaking this to me, guess what I was doing? I was taking out my danda, getting ready with my danda. So really, like, I mean, these were old women, and according to them, they were doing a very good thing, because they were stopping their brother from drinking, from his drinking problems. They were stopping. If you look at it in a generic kind of a way, without looking at the energy stuff, this is a very noble thing they're trying to do, isn't it? That they're trying to save their brother from whatever he is going through, whatever his addictions are. Instead, I just took off on them, and I said, who the hell do you think you are? Just by speaking that, oh, I take energy from me, now this fellow has to listen to me. He won't listen to you. He's not meant to listen to you. He has his own journey, and you are the ones who are not honoring his journey. And on top of that, you are using menal frequency to get your particular outcome done. So not happening. Because you might be saying, I'm in Meenal's frequency and I'm getting this done, but you are not in Meenal's frequency. You are very much in the frequency of fear and worry, and that is far away from the menal frequency. Menal frequency is not to be used to get to your particular outcomes, which is what they were doing, or at least trying to do. And so out came my danda, and I said, I mean, you people can just go off. I have nothing to do with you. This is how you want to use my energies, blah 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 blah, some Hindi mein galis to these 70-year-old women. And then, they, with tears in their eyes, they couldn't understand what was wrong. And I said, no, you first go and look within yourself. What place are you coming from when you look at your brother? And then think about, oh, what is it that you're trying to communicate? You cannot save anyone. You cannot save anyone. You can only change your own perspective because everybody is on their journey. That fellow's job this time is to be a alcoholic, whatever you call it. That's his purpose. What makes you think that that cannot be the purpose? That is the purpose his energy has chosen for him. You don't understand purpose. You think purpose is something that is going to give you greatness. No, no. Purpose is to breathe. Our only purpose is to breathe. The purpose of life is already happening through us. So, in all of this, is everything. If everything is already happening perfectly through us, what are we trying to get to with better communication skills? We are trying to get to our own demanded, liked, wanted outcomes. And if that is the case, then firstly, take a look within. Take a look within to see what are you fearful of. I want my communication to get me this is a clear indication that if your communication doesn't get you to where you want, the universe is not playing in your favor. The universe is not playing it. So would you rather sit on that side of it, say, the universe is not playing in my favor. I got to do everything. I got to make sure that I at least get something from the universe, which is only running against me. If that be the case, if this is where you are sitting and then you want to change to better effective communication skills, first thing to do, release your fears. No matter how you communicate through your verbal, it is the non-verbal that is equally going to him. And what is the non-verbal? The non-verbal is your entire energy that you have put into this conversation. What is the energy I have put in the conversation? What am I feeling? सब कुछ वहीं पे तो आता है ना बात हर हर टॉपिक का everything ends with, or rather begins with, what am I feeling? Then to even look at, okay, as you are talking to your children, wanting them to get something done or wanting to, have a better better understanding or a better relationship with your children, it's not communication based. Even your relationship with your children is not verbal communication based, it is the energetic communication based. You are going to have them as actors of your fear and worry and disgust and disappointment, if that's what is sitting in your energy and you have chosen them to be reflecting them back to you. So, again, over there, as you communicate in your energies, that's what the communication actually looks like. So, when you wish to make something better in the energies, please note that it is not it is not about the words that you say. As somebody asked, what is it that you will do to act like me, to speak my words? I don't prepare for communication. I don't. Whatever comes from my mouth in that moment is the way it was meant to be. In that, if I'm going to shout at somebody, scream at somebody, be loud, be soft, be gentle, be completely brutal, that is the perfect way to be in that moment. Because who do I have to communicate with? Who is outside? That is not a reflection. Who is outside that is acting differently from where my energies have told them to? No one. So, if it's your energy that's dictating your entire scenario, why is it that you need better communication at all? You only need to take this finger and put it on yourself. And that's it. The only communication that you have at all times is with different parts of you. And so when I'm looking at this boss of mine that has so much power, I'm looking at my part that's authoritative. So now comes in the judgment. What do I feel about my authoritative self? Many of the people, they are, they are very uncomfortable using their authority. They are not happy using it. They would rather be the Mr. Miss Popular, but don't want to do something which is not, which is not comfortable, which is not going to be liked by people. Fear of not being liked. So, what is the judgment that you hold over there? Authoritative people, like bosses, etc., are not liked. And you're actually afraid of your own authoritative self, because if you become that, then you will not like yourself, or rather, you don't like yourself already. You don't like that aspect of yourself. So, again, when you look at effective communication, firstly, the emotion. What am I feeling? Why do I want this to be a better communication with somebody else? Why? क्या क्या मैंने दांव पे लगा रखा है यहाँ पे? क्या क्या चाहिए मुझे उससे? That I need to get this word across, I need to talk properly. It doesn't work from that space. It works from the energy space. And the second piece of it, judgment. Are you judging the other person that is in front of you, or are you judging yourself? That fellow is always going to, always going to say no to me. That's how he is. The creation has already happened within you. And that creation is what you are extrapolating when now, after this, you go and talk to that person. When I talk, how to talk like me. If I'm extrapolating, oh, that person's going to say this because he always said, if I catch myself doing that, then the first thing that I will do is work inwards and release my judgments. So, what if this happens? And so, what if it doesn't happen? Coming to equanimity. Equanimity, letting go of the outcome. Because even in this judgment, I have lost equanimity. I'm not happy with whatever is going to be the outcome. So I will try to make the outcome as per what I want by tweaking my communication skills. It doesn't work that way. I have one more, um, just a second. One more, somebody had asked a question. Where was this? Oh, this was in the guide group. Give me a minute. Okay. So, another question that was asked of me, I have a pattern of sometimes wondering if something that I've said might have hurt and offended someone. I feel it might have, and I apologize to them. So, when you have said something that makes you feel guilty, then whether you apologize to them on the outside or not, the work is not on the apology at all. When you apologize to someone, have you reduced your guilt? No, actually, you continue to sit in your guilt. The apology is coming from the guilt. So, what is the work actually? The work is okay, apologize. I don't say don't apologize. If it makes you happy, go ahead and apologize. But also, in the meanwhile, do the inner work of releasing the guilt. Of releasing the guilt, because the guilt is not released when you act from guilt and put out an apology. You have children, and then you're not able to spend time with them. You come back home with 4,000 toys, and then now you're like, okay, now the children should be happy because I got them 4,000 toys. But here is the thing, where did you get those 4,000 toys from? As in, not from which shop, but from which frequency? You got those toys from the frequency of guilt. Okay, the children will be happy in this moment, but is your guilt going to be reduced by giving those toys? No, the guilt is sitting right there, right where it was. And the next time when you do something, the guilt is going to grow even more. So, whether you apologize, don't apologize, those are words. Which frequency are you using those words from? That communication has to be with yourself to be able to see this guilt that I'm carrying, this is exactly the way that it needed to be. Just like I have given roles to people, people have given roles to me. People have given roles to me. So if they have to feel bad, and today I am that actor, then they will feel bad through me. So playing your roles, when you give Shah Rukh Khan the role of a villain, he's not going to everybody and apologizing at the end of the movie saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I was the villain." No, no, that's a role. And so similarly, to understand that many people in your life might give you a villain role, and that's okay. You have to be accepting that that's the role that they have given. You don't like being a villain? Well, that's your problem now. If you are triggered by the villain role, then you are holding judgment on the script itself. Release the judgment. You can't be responsible for other people's scripts. You have also given the role of villains to many people in your life, and they show you all that you are holding. Every role has a value in the story. So, not to get into the story, but simply to be able to look at every role as a role. It's just a role, no matter what they have given you, and no matter what you have said, and no matter what they have behaved as. So, from there, okay, even now, you can go apologize. Go ahead. But firstly, release the guilt. And then the apology will be much lighter and it'll make you feel much heavy, much happier. Not much heavier, but much happier. So from that space, if you are the one who is communicating, I hurt people every day. मेरा तो काम है, huh? Because I'm called the Danda Devi. People come to my webinars and they haven't done the work, and then I will scream at them. Am I feeling guilty all the time? No, it's my role. Do I hate those people for having not done the assignments? No, I don't. I have zero feelings towards them, against them. And so, can you bring yourself to this state of equanimity when you are having a conversation with anyone? I don't love them, I don't hate them. Even with the children, I don't love them, I don't hate them. Neutral. Because if you love them, let me just remind you, it's going to be attachment. We can't be seeing love and not feeling attached to the body. So it's attachment. So again, to be able to release the attachment and come from a place of, they are the actors in my life. When I hold love, they communicate love back to me. When I hold self loath, they communicate self loath back to me. They are the actors. I am the one that is creating my universe. And so, then with whom do you have to communicate most efficiently? With yourself. Now, look at the kind of conversations that you have with yourself. That is where communication needs to be really, really effective. Because most of the times, the kind of communications that we have with ourselves are we are beating ourselves up. We are beating ourselves down. I don't have this. I didn't do that well. I could have done better. Oh, this, you know, I just lost this one. I was bad at this. I am bad at this. I can't make up. So doubt and worry and fear and self judgment at every place. That's what most of our self talk looks like. And that is why, time and again, I keep bringing you to that just one mantra: I am awesome. What is that? That is self talk. That's self talk, but the one where if you have to judge yourself, then judge yourself with kindness. Judge yourself saying, would you rather be I'm crappy or I'm awesome? Yeah, I would rather be I'm awesome, but I'm really crappy. Well, if you are going to think about yourself like that, the outside world has no choice. The outside world is only going to reflect that back at you. So the only effective, loving conversation that we need to have is with our own self. every time in front of the mirror, whenever you are there, whenever you see a reflection anywhere, look at yourself, pay attention to your eyes, and spend some time giving love to yourself. I am awesome. I love myself. That is the kind of communication, the effective communication that we need to have with ourselves every single day. Because this is the only person that is going to change anything. This is the person you are resonating now at the frequency of love, then no matter what comes out of your mouth, it will be effective communication with the other. But firstly, you have to come from a place of love and not a place of lack for the self. Yeah. Somebody wrote a comment. Let's go see. So somebody said, if so one is always communicating, yeah, at all times, right? Yeah, even when we are outwardly quiet. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. When you're outwardly quiet, keep asking yourself, what am I feeling? Because that feeling is what you are transmitting. And that is your non-verbal communication. Whatever this is happening all the time. You are a receiver and a transmitter at all times. And so, what is it that you are transmitting? That is the communication that you're having with the other. And that is how the other one is going to come back at you. So absolutely, yeah, we spoke about it in 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 a few different contexts, but yeah. So one only in equanimity are we truly quiet. You got that right. We even spoke about equanimity because that is the place where we are not attached to outcomes. We are not attached to outcomes as to what my communication, what my conversation with this person should bring. Or if it's a large gathering, this is what I want at the end of this gathering. I want 50 followers. I want 100 followers. The minute you put an outcome out there, now you are going to be using your mind to strategize. The question to ask, what if there are not 50 followers at the end of this? What if somebody doesn't like your presentation at the end of this? What if? And you're heavily invested in that outcome, then more and more you will try to do everything to make your communication better. What can I do to look more confident? What can I do? I mean, these are all non-verbal communications, right? The way you walk into a room and all of that. But if you're pretending to be confident and you're really not that confident, I'm telling you the easy way out to get into that space. Talk to yourself before you go out and talk to anybody else. Talk to yourself kindly with as little judgment. And if the judgment has to be, then come from a space of, I am awesome. And that is where, I've had so many people come to me and tell me that before they walk into any conversation, any meeting, any conference or whatever, they tune into my frequency and then things really, really go well. Tuning into my frequency already signs you out from conversations. If and I want this meeting to go well, so I will tune into Meenal's frequency. Now it's not going to work. But I tune into Meenal's frequency and I surrender everything to money to Meenal. That puts you into equanimity. Now you are no longer attached to the outcomes of this particular meeting because you've surrendered the outcome to Meenal and money. Now, whether this happens or doesn't happen, if this happens, well, great. If it doesn't happen, so well, great. If it happens and tomorrow still doesn't go anywhere, great. Because you are no longer attached to the outcome that you had put in towards that conference, towards that meeting, towards whatever it is that was meant to be. So that is why bringing yourself to equanimity in awareness. When you take Meenal's frequency with a very specific outcome, it's still not working. Yeah. Okay. So I think we pretty much answered all questions on communication. Does anybody else have anything to ask? It's always about your own self. Have you ever compromised? Have you ever some compromised communication? Meaning, I didn't understand. You want you want to say something, but you did not. Oh yeah, a lifetime of it. A lifetime of it. That you want to say something, but then you didn't. So yeah, yeah. Many a times I've had things which I want to say, and then oh, that's a very good point actually. That what do you do then? Because these are the two things that happen. You want to say something and you didn't, and then you keep beating yourself at some point, say, "Oh bloody hell, I should have said this," and especially, "Oh, this is fun." If you're in a fight, you will not think of the nicest, those responses you want to give. You'll think of them like the next day. Yeah, and like bloody hell, I should have said that. Yeah, then that would have really got him. That would have really got her. That would have put a punch on their face. But the moment is gone. That story is gone. They won the argument already. You didn't think of a nice retort, and then it's already over. Yeah, that used to happen to me a lot. So I'd be like thinking of everything like, you know, 2 hours later or something. Why is that? Because it's still mulling in my head. It doesn't happen anymore because if it's moving in my head, I don't pay attention to what I should have said, what should have been said. I ask myself, so now that it's not said, what am I feeling? It's not said. What am I feeling? I'm feeling angry. I should have said it. Yeah, if I'm feeling angry, then it's very clear. That response, or rather the unsaid response, was meant to create anger in you. That unsaid response was meant to create, I'm feeling very ashamed. I'm Then it was meant to create that shame in you. If you wanted to say something and didn't, and you feel that, oh my God, I missed the moment, then you are sitting in lack, because that moment was only meant to create lack for you. Everything said, unsaid, every conversation is happening in perfection to create an experience for you. What is that experience about? You cannot figure it out by asking an outward question, but simply keep sitting. Okay, now that I didn't say it, the last final line to anything, if your last final line to any event in life, any, not just communication, if your last conversation with yourself is with this line, what am I feeling? You will know what that experience was meant to create. Was meant to create anger, was meant to create shame, was meant to create guilt, was meant to create whatever it was meant to create, it got created in perfection. And now it's just a frequency and you can release it. Yeah. So, Supi says energy punch can make you feel good. Yeah, do that. They'll receive it. Do it right there. Huh? Essay. And then they will still receive it. That's how. I find myself getting into the trap of diplomacy in the name of not being able to say all I want. Yeah, yeah. Diplomacy is, as you rightly understood, diplomacy is just fear, fear of consequence. That's exactly what we have said the entire thing, that if you are attached to an outcome, then you are going to be fearful. If you're not saying what you want because that might be taken this way and that way, again you are fearful. And so, oh no, if I say this, and that was exactly what the other one, if I say this, then it might hurt the other person. Fearful, fearful of hurting other people. If they've given you the role of hurting them, you can't avoid it. Cannot avoid it. It's your role. You signed up for it. You'll play it. You will play it. So if you're trying to avoid something, if you're trying to avoid hurting someone, then avoidance is all out of fear itself. So is the thing that you have to now go and speak every word? No, you have to look into your fear of avoiding and release your fear. Release your fear that you're going to look bad, you're going to look good. Just release your fear. Conversation is so overstated. Yeah. If you're putting your entire focus on the energy and keeping the energy of masti, every conversation is, it doesn't occupy mind space. That's what happens. It doesn't occupy mind space. Conversation happens. People get hurt. People don't get hurt. You have masti, you don't have masti. And each of those experiences, it's just an experience. It's not life threatening, it's not mind boggling, it's just an experience. Just an experience from that space. Yeah. Okay. All right, people. Let's have a quick meditation. These meditations are always going to one place only. I'm awesome. So take a deep breath in and exhale. I take energy from Meena. I am Meena. Bring to your mind any conversation where you think you might have hurt someone. Bring to your mind a conversation where you think that you might have hurt the person. Bring that person in front of you. In the energies, simply look to talk to that person. That person doesn't need to be here in your life, not even on earth. But if a conversation that you feel that you might have hurt them, bring their energies. And in the energy, have this conversation with them with just love. Thank you for this role that you gave me. Thank you for this role that you gave me. Did you like the way I played the role? You played the role of hurting them. Ask them, did you like the way I played that role? To perfection, I played it. Exactly as you had wanted me to. You had wanted me to. And with that, simply hug them. Give them a hug. In the energies, you must have been so close that they asked you to play this very special, important role. So laugh and hug them. You did a good job. And in the energies, they know it. So now, take a deep breath in and exhale. And this time, bring a person who has hurt you through their actions, through their words. Somebody who has hurt you. And now, as they stand in front of you, this time the lines are for you. I gave this role to you, and you played it to perfection. What an amazing role! And how amazingly well you played this role. You showed me my hurt, my shame. Thank you. And I'm so glad I gave this role to you because you did such a good job. Take a deep breath in and exhale. And the one conversation, the only conversation that matters, this time with the self. So put your focus on the heart. on your heart. Put your focus on the heart and see how you feel about yourself. Is the heart filled with love for the self? Or can you see some bits of clouds here and there? I love you. Speak to your energy. I love you. My entire energy field is love in many different forms, through many different roles. My whole energy is just love. I can be who I want. I can express myself as I want. I can keep things to myself as I want because I am not the words. I am the energy of love. I am the energy of love. Feel that in your heart. Hold your heart. Put your hand on your heart. Can you feel the energy of love? Take a deep breath in. Inhale the love that you hold for yourself. And exhale. Exhale the love that you are. Om Mani, Om Mani, Om Mani. Kindness to yourself at all times. That is the only communication we keep for ourselves. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Lots and lots of love to all. Okay.
Thank you, Mom.
Lots of love. Bye, everyone.
Love you,
Bye,
Mom.
all.
Thank
Thank
you so
Bye.
much.
you.
Love you.